Well, guys, it looks like I'm up and running. Sometimes this is a pain in the butt. I need really two monitors because it's hard to do this. So I'm going to get a little fancy today. Figure I'd play a game and go ahead and start playing. But I figured there was a few things to talk about today in the motorcycle news. So while I play, I will go ahead and talk about various things that are in the news. One of those things is the director that made On Any Sunday, which is a 1960s documentary. He passed away at the age of 80. His name is Bruce Brown. So some of you that are old enough, which I doubt you're watching me play Slither if you're old enough, but maybe you are, might have seen that movie, and it really sparked interest by the public into motorcycle riding and racing in general, which is pretty cool anytime that occurs. And then the other thing that I really wanted to talk about is this beauty, which is a African twin police bike that the California police have, I guess they bought. They got two of them. And, they're outfitted. They even have a bulletproof shield. Which is actually going to be here. This is the bulletproof shield. As you can see, it supposedly can be deployed pretty quickly. Now, I don't know what quickly is. If somebody's shooting at you, it's never going to be quick enough. So, I don't know what they mean by quick. Maybe if somebody's held up in a house or something, you would deploy that and you would have something you can be behind. And be protected because, police cars, that's why the cops typically stand behind the doors. So they have some sort of protection, although they're really not bulletproof. Supposedly this can stop a .44 Magnum. I don't know. Seems kind of gimmicky to me. I don't think that would actually be practical. It makes you wonder if actually any police officers had any say in any of this, or it was just politics. Now we'll go back to this other picture here. And as you can see, the bike has knobby tires. Now, a police bike is going to be used a lot. So how are you going to possibly have knobby tires? You're going to have to change them after every ride. It just doesn't seem that's practical, considering the police are going to be mainly on the street. Now, I could see an African twin being outfitted and used maybe by BLM Rangers or Forest Service Rangers or something like that, but to be used as a police vehicle that might be in chases, might have to, go and track down various speeders and stuff. Ooh, got distracted there, but I got those worms. No, you don't. What's he doing? They always go stupid. These people that play this game like, I can see you. I'll just zoom out. Okay, we'll go over here. Woohoo. So, I really don't know what, how the bike would be practical. I mean, knobby tires, you're going to be replacing those all the time. Just the bike in general just doesn't seem practical at all. Now, I'm not saying a Harley is necessarily better or worse. I mean, it all depends what it's going to be used as. I guess if the California police are planning to do a lot of off-road dirt road riding, I guess so. That bike will work out for them versus a Harley. Oops. The next thing on my list is actually the KTM 690. And that's right here. And it's supposedly the ultimate KTM adventure bike. However, I wonder if they fixed the fuel pump issue. I've had guys on rides where, luckily, we were just at an event. They weren't actually on my ride. They were on somebody else's ride. But they were doing the White Rim Trail near Moab, Utah, you know, in the Canyonlands. And their fuel pump went out. It's a very common problem. In fact, one of the riders even had an extra fuel pump that was luckily in that guy's group. So they replaced a fuel pump on the trail. That just seems pretty retarded, really. That you would have to have a bike that you would need to replace a fuel pump, and it's a common issue. So I don't know how a KTM 690 is the ultimate adventure bike. I just don't see that as being possible. But hey, to each their own. And then the next thing up is there's a new 2018 Tiger 1200 XCa. The XC series is going to stand for the off-road series, and then the XR will be their street series. Beautiful bikes. I love the Triumph Tigers. However, the MSRP on them is $21,750. That's before adding any farkles or any of that stuff that most riders are going to add. So, not a very practical bike, but then some would argue, well, the BMW costs that much too. You know, the big GS 1200 or GSA 1200. Well, that's true. So I guess they're playing to that market. I don't think there's a lot of people out there buying $20,000 plus motorcycles, really. I mean, when you look at it on most of the sites, forums, Facebook groups, most people are out there buying, or are actually looking at, I would say, $6,000, $8,000 bikes, or even used for like $2,000 or $3,000, really. So I'm not sure how many of those will be sold. In fact, I don't very often see big Triumph Tigers. They were called the Explorers, but you know, now it's just going to be the Triumph Tiger because that's what everyone called them. And it will just be the XCA, like I said, versus the XR. XR, you're going to have street tires and what have you. But they do seem like nice bikes, but they just don't seem that practical. I mean, I know some guys are going to say, well, but I take my GSA 1200 out and, you know, we go do Mosquito Pass and we go do all these hard roads. Yeah, not saying you can't do it. It's like me taking my Honda XR 650R out on Captain Jack's. Can I do it? Sure, I do it. I've done it quite a bit. Is it made for that type of riding? Not at all. And it's a handful, you know. It's kind of funny how people think that that's somehow the big adventure bikes are the right bike for the job. Now, when I see like their around the world trips and stuff, most of them, they are just on graded dirt roads. Are they doing an epic trip? Sure. Is it really an epic adventure? To them it probably is, but it doesn't make it really epic. And not to nitpick, but everyone's done these adventures already. So you're not going to really come up with something new. I've kind of touched on that in other videos, but it's just not something new. I mean, everything's been done. I mean, if you can think of something that hasn't been done, which would, you know, really, if you want to start a trend, would probably be jump on the two-stroke and ride that down to South America. You know, now that's something that I don't think has been done. If you really want to try something new. But, you know, people think big adventure bikes and whatever. I don't know. I'm not saying I hate big adventure bikes because I'm looking at some point getting one. I just don't think people are honest of what really the riders are doing on those. You know, they'll always point to some video like, hey, I ride a single track on that GSA 1200. And it's like, sure you do. And if you did, it's probably not very common, and it's not what the bike's made for at all. Is it impressive that you could do that? Sure, but would I want to do that? No. You know, the other thing that's happening in the motorcycle news is the 2018 Dakar is coming up, and it's going to be the 40th year, and that's going to happen between January 6th and the 20th, which is pretty cool. That's always a fun race to watch. One of the most grueling races, I would say, right behind Baja 1000. And it's pretty funny because it's a bunch of different vehicles. You know, you have your trucks and various, you got like those big semi-type Unimog things. Oops. See, talking and playing. You like my worm name? I'm a Ural side worm. So anyways, that's enough of the pictures. I forgot it was displaying. Kind of a new thing. I figured I'd set it up. It's kind of a pain in the butt to set it up to press keys and display various pictures. It can be done, but I only have one monitor, so it'd probably be easier if I had two monitors. Right now I have a laptop, so I can look over and see what you guys are doing. Or, I mean, what the video's doing. I guess other news is the Viking bags. You know, I had those side bags. I kind of did a review of them. And, of course, that was before really using them. So, after one good ride in Meeker, Colorado at the past Trail Taker event, the stitching was ripping, and I didn't even have them full. So, they are not that good of bags. I debated whether to do a video talking about them or not. I decided I'll just kind of roll into this. And maybe I'll do its own video, but it's kind of sad the bags are just don't hold up. So my Wolfman, after owning those side bags for, I don't know, 8+ years, they've held up good. You know, there's a few burn spots that burn through, a little tiny rip in the side, but it's not like the strap has ripped. One of the plastic buckles that I put under the seat usually to hold everything down broke, but mainly because I put it under the seat. I'm sure me sitting on the seat broke the buckle, but it's still usable. It hasn't let go or caused an issue. I mean, it's under the seat, it's trapped. The Viking bag started ripping right where the strap attaches from the bike to the bag itself, and not much you can do there. Like a hole or something you can fix. Like I use black RTV, usually just from the automotive store, and you kind of can rub it on the area, and that plugs the hole and stops the tearing. When stitches let go, you have to fix the stitching and all that. And in fact, if anyone's in Colorado Springs or Monument, Colorado area, or can come down from Denver and want these saddlebags, you can have them. They're yours free. All you have to do is fix the stitching, which I'm sure there's people capable of doing that and have some saddlebags to use. But like I said, I used them on one good ride, one of the first days of the event, and didn't really have much in them. I had, I think, 2 of the small Red Bulls, some beef jerky, and a very light windbreaker type climb jacket. Not really a jacket. It's not heavy at all. It packs really small, and it's not really rain. I wouldn't say it's a raincoat or anything. But it was that little bit of weight was enough to cause issues. So I would have hated to see the bags full and what would have happened. So yeah, that bag is for anyone that wants it. I guess just contact me and we'll go from there. And if it's for local, because I don't want to hassle with, you know, shipping it and all that. But it's yours free. Don't care. It's a Viking bag, so you can look up Viking and see what it's about and watch my video on it. You know, initially it looked like a nice bag. Going out for a few photo ops, it seemed like it was okay, right? A low budget bag. But it's definitely not made to hold up. So that's enough about that crappy bag. Yeah, get back to that Honda African Twin police bike. You know, I don't understand how the knobby tires are just going to work. I honestly don't. I mean, it puzzles me. I mean, for cops that are going to be on the street, how is that going to not wear out really quick? And I think they only got a couple bikes, so it's going to be a couple oddball bikes that are going to have their own maintenance schedule, basically, you know, than anything else they have in the fleet. I don't know. I don't get it. I would think a more street-orientated bike for police would be the way to go. You know, the VFR 1100 or whatever, 1200, forget what they're up to, but I would think that would be something that would work a lot better. You know, everyone's always against Harley, so they're like, Harley. But honestly, all the gear an officer needs to carry and stuff seems like the way to go for just typical highway duty police officers, right? I mean, they're not really involved in chasing. Most people pull over, so, you know, that's typically is not going to happen where you're going to have to chase somebody on your Harley and worry about them outrunning you. And even so, I would suspect a weighed down ST1300 would also be kind of heavy, and I don't know if you'd really want to do high speeds, to be honest, but I don't know. I don't know, maybe Honda gave them the bikes to try or something. Companies sometimes do that. Maybe that's why they only have a couple. You know, see how it works out. Maybe they even want feedback. And Honda is located in California. All the executives are out there, so honestly, you can go to my dealer right now, Apex Sports in Colorado Springs, and they have an African Twin sitting right on the showroom floor. They're not that hot of a bike anymore. It's amazing. You know, the hype died down. I think people are really wanting to wait for the like smaller KTM and some of the other smaller bikes that are supposed to be coming out, adventure orientated. Whoa. Now we'll just play this game and see what happens. I was getting bored. I was like, just die. That's the problem with this game. It gets pretty damn boring. Because there's like no objective. So yeah, I see you coming that way. Go that way. Wow. I thought I was going to skim that other worm. I guess not. Sometimes you can get like right up on them. Not like that though. He saw me coming. He probably has the zoom feature too. It's kind of amazing, some of these. You know who like has the worm plus or whatever this is called versus this normal Slither? Sorry, Slither.io versus Slither plus IO. I know, it gives you features like I can zoom in and out. What the heck did I do? I think that's it for today. I'm kind of bored. Turn off the recording here.